Tuesday night. It's 9:06. It's time to go behind the hedges. I'm Mitch. Here's Matt.
Baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And before we get started, make sure you're liking these videos. Make sure you're sharing these videos. Make sure you're subscribing to our channel. We're going to keep it really short, probably not so sweet tonight. Had some really good news last week. This week, not so much. In fact, I just got the headline minutes ago.
Yeah, last week we was on cloud 9. Tonight's not going to be so fun, fans. And well, some of this news broke like 10 minutes ago.
Right, like just as I was getting ready to turn the computer on, I got the update from Dog Nation. And so tonight, in fact, the description of this video is wrong. It says that Mitch and Matt are going to complain about Bear Alexander, right? But really what we're doing is complaining about Bear Alexander and now Dion Bowie. A Bearcat from my hometown has decided to decommit, as well as Big Bear yesterday, though, right? And Bowie today. So what do you make of this, Matt? What?
Well, okay, I'll say this. This is bad news. Any way you slice it. Decommitments are not ever good news, typically. I think there's more at play here, and a lot of I'm the doom and gloomer, but even I can see the rational side of this. So here's what I'm thinking: these kids, both Bear Alexander and Dion Bowie, committed when they were juniors.
That's right. Yeah.
Juniors can go on visits, right?
In a normal year, they can.
I think what a lot of folks realize is, if you've forgotten already, 2020 was not exactly a normal year by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
All of these kids, for all these schools, these early commits, were locked down. They didn't get to go to visits. They didn't get to do all the cool stuff that blue chip recruits get to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a component of this. We're pretty much back to normal. I mean, pretty much, for the most part. And there's more to a recruit's process than just a recruit. You know, his mind is in it, his folks' mind is in it, and there's people around them who are in it. And I feel like these guys probably did some reflection and went, you know what, I didn't get to do anything last year. I'm only ever going to get to do what I may get to do this year once. In fact, it will only be once. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna check it all out and enjoy the recruiting process. One thing that worries me, though, I think you can do all of that without having to decommit. So I am curious and concerned about why they decided to decommit. You want to go check out A&M? You go check out A&M. And that's where they're going, because, folks, if you don't know by now, we let Nick Williams go to A&M. Yeah. Nick Williams was the top recruiter for both of these guys we're talking about, and they have now followed the guy they have a good relationship with to go check out College Station. That's all this is.
One other point of concern is Nick Williams is also a Bainbridge guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Nick used to sit on my porch with me. Okay. Nick has ties to the Bowie family. He knows them. They all know. I taught the Bowie kids, you know, and I didn't teach Dion. He came along after I'd already left. But listen, man, I'm going to lay out two possible scenarios here. Okay. And one is the positive, the silver lining, and one is the cloud. Okay. The silver lining is what you said. Okay. 2020 was a COVID year. It was a weird, wild time, and these kids were locked down. And now things are opening up to the point where these kids can start taking some of these visits. And you know what? Why not? It's like what's that movie? Oh man, come on, help me out. The one where the guys go to Vegas and Mike Tyson and the Tiger and they're all drinking, and what's that movie? The
and Mike Tyson knocks him out. That would be The Hangover, sir.
The Hangover. Okay, so the craziness that those guys did in Vegas and on The Hangover is basically what these kids are getting to do now, right? They're getting to go to these college campuses. They're getting to mingle and rub elbows and live it up. And you ask the question, why? So then why decommit? Why decommit? Because let me tell you something. You have more fun in Vegas when you're not wearing a wedding ring. That's why, you know, and maybe that is. So look, I'm just saying that is your silver lining. The cloud is also what you were alluding to. The cloud is this: we let Nick Williams go without much of a struggle. And, I think Coley left too, right?
They all went to Jumbo.
Right. And so Coley leaves, and we're like, well, okay, I'd had enough of Coley personally, but Nick Williams, not so much. And Nick had done a lot of grunt work behind the scenes, and he was paying his dues in the salt mines, so to speak, and kind of working himself up into a very, very valuable, although maybe underappreciated by most position. And finally, Jimbo and Coley and all the clowns out there at A&M decide to bring him into the fold. Now, if this is the cloud, this could wind up hurting us, not just for these two recruits. You might see more kids start to trickle towards it. Nick is he's a recruit whisperer. He can tell these guys not only what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And he's not gonna shoot him crooked. He's going to shoot him straight. So, I like Nick. I think he's very good at what he does. And I think he's a decent human being. I sure do wish he was on our team, though, So there you go. There's your two scenarios. I'll reserve judgment. These guys could still recommit to the G. They could still become Bulldogs after all the dust settles. Look at Arik Gilbert, for God's sakes.
Well, hold on. Let me. That was where I was going next. This is bad news. And I'm concerned. But after watching this Arik Gilbert shit play out the way it did, I'm not doing any more gasping when it comes to the recruiting process, because that, you get made to just be wrong, as I was. And Bear said himself, we're still at the top of the list. They're still crystal balling him about 80% to Georgia. I think, behind the scenes, Nick, what better way to impress your new boss than to bring two recruits in like that? I think he said, listen, guys, I'm not, listen, here's the situation y'all are in. Here's the situation I'm in. Just give me a chance. Just come out there with me and just look, and, and left it at that. And they may have both decided, you're going to get a better time out there if they think they really got a shot. You go out there committed to Georgia and bleeding red and black, like Big Bear Alexander said 2-3 days before he decommitted. Mm-hmm. And they might be like, "Oh, welcome, yeah, you go hang out with the ugly ones." You know what I mean?
Right,
see where I'm going?
But you don't want to eat the continental breakfast.
You took the ring off. You took the wedding ring off, and you're decommitted. Now it's like, oh snap, we got a chance at these boys. Here's the buffet, and it's open all for you.
Right.
So I don't know if any of that is true. I don't know if none of that's true. I know that Big Bear didn't. I mean, he decommitted shortly after his visit to A&M. He decommitted. He didn't commit to A&M. He just said, "I'm gonna open it up." And I had heard yesterday, and I texted you that Bowie was next. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking I think it's a lot of things going into this. They want to see it. They want to enjoy it. They want to experience. They don't want to necessarily be tied to a school while they do that. And while it's concerning to me as a Dog fan, because I want all these dudes to play for us, and I want them to be locked down so I don't have to worry. I get it. I get it. They have not had a chance to enjoy the recruiting process the normal way. Typically, what do you get? 2 years, your junior year and your senior year?
That's about right.
This is it. You lost last year. This is it. They might have seen all they needed to see from all the other schools last year as a junior, and then be like, no, I'm good. I really am just committed to Georgia. But with the situation being what it is with COVID and not being able to do nothing, I think a lot of it is, God, I am who I am, and Georgia's not the only place that knows it. I need to see some coaches and some campuses. I need to enjoy my process.
Yeah.
No, don't make me worry any less. It just makes me not like, oh my God, this is the end. Kirby's lost his touch. No. We're not doing anything different. We haven't wronged these gentlemen. They're just gonna do what they think's best for them.
So I don't have a lot more to say about this. I think that we are both in agreement. We think that this is a one of two things, right? And I'm going to reserve. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. I've seen there's plenty of things that Kirby Smart does that makes me tense up. There's plenty of things, but one thing that he does do that does not make me tense up is his ability to hang on to these guys and bring in basically whoever he wants. And so I trust him. I got no reason not to, you know. And so I'm going to reserve judgment and wait till, you know, when one of those, both those guys, you know, strap them on, we'll know then, you know. But you know, maybe we'll look back on it and say, dang it, we should have held on to Nick, you know, or maybe we'll say it was just these guys needing to sow some wild oats or what have you.
I mean, I think it's going to hurt us because if for no other reason than he's a hell of a recruiter. I mean, when Sam Pittman left, we lost a dude, maybe two.
Yeah.
You know, some kids pick coaches. They're told not to do that, but they do it. Yeah. And so when that happens, if that coach leaves, you've seen it before. Before the transfer portal was even off the ground, they were already doing this kind of thing. So I wouldn't say dismiss this. I would say be concerned.
Sure, but don't throw yourself under a bus.
Don't lose sleep because, you know, recruiting. Listen, if losing recruits was the death sentence for Georgia, we'd have been dead 3 years ago. Look at all the proven quantities we've already lost in the transfer portal. Or guys getting kicked off the team. I mean, is there any other team who can lose J.J. Holloman, Brenton Cox, Cade Mays, although he forgot how to play, but when he was with us, he was good. The list, there's a large list, and we've talked about it, of dudes who just, once they got in and proved they were good, moved on. And we're fine.
Sure. So don't lose sleep. Okay. What do you? I felt like at some point we should talk about the 2022 class as a whole. I felt like that, but now looking at this, maybe we hold off a little bit and just see how this goes. Maybe this is not the last domino to fall or whatever, you know.
I think we should hold off because I think it's about to get crazier. I think it's about to be crazier. I think it's going to hit other schools. I think it's going to be like a ripple effect. Guys are going to be like, I ain't got to see nothing yet.
Yeah,
I need to see something, right. And I want to see the whole show. You know what I mean?
We've said over and over and over that June was going to be crazy. But even though we were saying that, I don't think we understood exactly what that meant. And I think we're finding out just how big of a word crazy is.
Which one are you more concerned? Let's say neither one of them wind up at Georgia between the two gentlemen we've talked about tonight. Which one are you more concerned about? For me, no question, Big Bear Alexander, because I got news for you. The fast, athletic, skill guys, DBs, that's a dime a dozen. Elite, dominant interior defensive linemen, they don't even grow on trees. You have to go hunting for them and pull them out of the ground.
Yeah,
so if you get one that's interested in your program, you need to hang on to that guy. If he winds up going somewhere else, that one's going to hurt because Jordan Davis is gone after this year. Devontae Wyatt's right behind him, and Julian Rochester is like 42 years old. He's a super duper senior. He's gone. I don't know what the future looks like at defensive line. We need those bodies. Now, there's some other names, fans, you might want to go look up. Travis Shaw, Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan visited Florida this past weekend. 5 minutes after he stepped off campus, he said, I'm shutting down my recruitment. I'm just making a decision soon. Something to that effect. You might think, oh, well, he's going to Gainesville. He's visiting us this Thursday.
We'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think more concern comes with losing the big body defensive lineman. I won't say that Deion Bowie is a dime a dozen, but you're right. Athletic defensive backs
those
types,
that archetype of player. I mean, and I don't mean that to sound disrespectful. There's a lot of them. There's more of Deion Bowie than there is Bear Alexander or Christian Wilkinson or Leonard Williams. Those guys don't exist. They're unicorns. When you get one, you have to focus all your fire. I mean,
the other thing is that you don't defend the pass with defensive backs. And as the game is going in a direction where passing games are going to become more and more lethal and potent and all this, and the way you defend that is you defend that by putting pressure on the backfield, and you do that with Big Bear Alexander, not Deion Bowie. You do that with your edge rushers and your linebackers. So yes, you do need defensive backs, but ultimately, if you're waiting for your defensive backs to shut down a team's passing game, they are designed to eventually lose. You know what I mean?
And I need to go and brush up on who we've already got in that position group that's young. I know we got Jalen Carter. Dresden Marshall and them dudes, but I don't know. And Alexander, he would be a freshman. I don't know that he would be a freshman phenom, but you get the ball rolling on that guy to become Jordan Davis in his sophomore year, basically. But you can't do that if you don't have them. Those I've said it from the beginning. You asked, I don't know if we talked about it on the show, if it was just something we talked about on our own time. The position group I want to be the most dominant on my team is D-line, top to bottom, east to west. If you give me Clemson's D-line from a few years ago every year, then you can have the rest of them. I'll just take that.
Yep, and I'll go.
Give me Jake Fromm, and give me I'm not gonna say Matt Landers, but give me like D-Rob, and that's my offense. But give me Clemson's some of Clemson and Ohio State and Alabama's D-lines from the years past, and I'm good. Because I know over the course of 60 minutes, we're going to wear your ass out.
Yeah. Okay, dude. I'm ready to shut it down. But before
we get out of record? Dude, we're 16 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And before we get out of here,
I can hear them now, though. They're only doing such a short show because they're mad because they butt hurt because they lost recruit.
You know what? I am mad. So
I told you to take care of that, man. We had a guest on the show who told us about Deion Bowie and that he was a guy. And now he's going to go see what Jumbo Fisher's got to say. I'm telling y'all right now, man. Jumbo's not sitting over there playing with his privates. He has decided that they are going to challenge for the West.
Yeah.
And if he nails down these two, that's
all right. See you next time.